I declare, persistence breaks walls that seem unbreakable, for steady hands were stone. Main thought: perseverance is disciplined action, not blind obstinacy, and I will show how measured acts turn fortune. Hold your purpose firm, let steady effort reshape the field by patient repetition and honest reckoning. When leaders relent to ease, opposition hardens, allies waver, and the smallest blow can unmake a year. You now stand at the slope, weary perhaps, but after 30 days you will stride with steadier step. Do define one clear objective that must be achieved, choose its end and measure it plainly. List daily actions that move this objective forward without exception, each action limited in time to be repeatable. Measure small gains, record time spent and results each day, and compare gains against the chosen end. Endure intelligent hardship, adjust methods while preserving intent, avoiding costly pride and needless sacrifice. These steps bind belief to work, yielding steady advantage as effort compounds in predictable progress. Once I marched with but a handful, storms of setback beat upon our tents and morale thinned. We met refusal and loss each dawn, yet did not falter, for each man held one unyielding task. Small acts repeated made the host steady, day by day the line advanced and hills became footholds. Takeaway: keep walking when signs cry halt, persistent motion wears error away and victory inches nearer. A common error is mistaking stubbornness for resolve, temper zeal with sober counsel and simple tests of result. Count weekly tasks completed, target 10% more each week, and mark growth in both speed and quality. The trap of silence harms leaders, summon truth from those nearest the work and test proposed fixes quickly. Go now, choose the smallest act that advances your objective and perform it once, today, without delay. Question your surrender before any enemy praises it aloud. I declare that perseverance breaks the walls that circumstance binds. I have seen campaigns stall when leaders yield to noise, persistence converts small gains into decisive advantage. Do name the smallest achievable next action, do commit to 1 hour of focused effort, do report the result to one trusted ally. I hold one memory of a winter march that seemed futile. My scouts vanished, supplies thinned, and voices urged retreat, yet I ordered a single day's push and a simple camp that used a hidden spring. The column found shelter by dusk and renewed strength by dawn. Takeaway: a single disciplined choice restored momentum and saved many lives. You now read this and wonder if stubbornness will consume wisdom. I teach endurance that is reasoned, not blind, perseverance aligned with judgment wins. List the obvious risks each morning, ask your lieutenants for one dissenting view, do abandon actions that show no measurable gain in 3 days. Common errors are stubborn clinging and scattered effort, avoid both by measuring results and by naming the cost of delay. Measure progress by counting completed actions and survival of plans. Aim for 3 completed actions in 7 days and a 20% reduction in unresolved issues. You after 30 days will feel a steadier pace and clearer results if you persist with these measures. Keep one promise open: I will show how to turn failed attempts into learning for the whole unit. Do perform this microquest now, pick one stalled task, declare one clear next action, and report the outcome in 72 hours. Persistence is the weapon that shatters impossible walls and steadies the wavering heart of command. I hold that steady action, disciplined and deliberate, outlasts furious but fleeting force. Clarity of aim makes endurance useful, while aimless effort disperses strength without gain. This matters because clear small efforts compound steadily, producing advantage that giants cannot easily reverse. Do name one narrow objective and do commit to one daily act that moves you nearer, and mark small wins. A small commander kept watch by a single lantern through a long winter of scarcity and doubts, and small comforts. Each night he repaired one harness, taught one recruit discipline, and wrote one clear line of orders. When spring came, his company moved where others faltered, seized ground and held it with resolute calm. Takeaway: small, steady acts build lasting capacity and habits that sudden zeal cannot match in battle. Do list 3 nightly acts, complete them without excuse, and keep them for 7 consecutive days. Do avoid 2 errors, confusing stubbornness for purpose, and scattering strength by chasing every bright chance. Anchor intent to results, ask plainly whether each act shortens the path toward decisive victory. Measure by repetition, aim for 20 consecutive deeds, or secure a visible 40% reduction in recurring failures within 30 days. You after 30 days will stand firmer. Tonight perform 1 task, then record 1 truth learned and 1 adjustment to make. Keep the ledger faithfully. Later I will show how to test its entries against harsh circumstance. A leader must bind perseverance to rule, not whim. I declare a single law: set decision thresholds before conflict. Without such limits, persistence mutates into chaos and counsel collapses. With thresholds, effort is deliberate and directed, not mere stubbornness. Define the objective and the metric that proves success. Set a strict time and a finite store of resources. List 3 fallback plans ranked by cost and benefit. Assign 1 officer authority to pause or press forward. Review the thresholds each week and adjust with reason. Once I led men across a swollen ford while omens warned of storms. I had set a day and a limit to supplies, the threshold held us true. When winds rose, the officer halted the crossing and saved our strength. Takeaway: a clear threshold preserved the army for a later victory. Common errors are twofold: mistaking hope for plan, and ignoring signals. Avoid these by demanding evidence at each threshold and by empowering the arbiter. Measure progress by reductions in wasted days and by success rate. Aim to cut wasted weeks by 50% within 90 days. You now hold a rule that separates stubbornness from wise perseverance. Do set your first threshold today and report back to your council. A rule untreated by men remains paper and fails. Make thresholds public to bind hearts and hands. Proclaim the limit to all, name the arbiter, rehearse the pause in camp. Adjust thresholds when true opportunity appears, not for comfort. I counsel flexibility: thresholds are tools, not chains, revise them after facts. Do record each change, justify it, let the numbers speak. Will you press forward when all signs decree cessation, when allies falter and fortune turns? Declare persistence as disciplined advance against resistance, and measure each step with sober tally. I will show the narrow practice that turns resistance to force, and how to bind it into habit. This quality repairs the gap between intention and victory by steady cadence rather than sudden exertion. Count efforts daily, set small measurable gains, record them, continue regardless of complaint. Know the border between stubbornness and true persistence, so leaders avoid ruin and conserve strength. Choose endurance that judgment guides, not stubbornness that ignores facts. Blind tenacity wastes men and time, wise persistence corrects error swiftly and preserves forces. Test decisions weekly, admit fault fast, alter method without shame, and refine signals. Hold counsel on small setbacks each dawn, and assign immediate corrections. Once I watched a general endure frost, hunger, ridicule, and whispered doubt among veterans. His men faltered, yet he guarded order, clarity, and the tasks of each man. Month by month he tightened ranks, adjusted supply, and measured small gains. Encourage one clear routine, reward small gains, note each lesson, and teach what works. Takeaway: steady measures outlast swift courage, habit yields victory where passion alone fails. Mistake: confuse pride with purpose, avoid it by seeking counsel, truth, and contrary reports. Measure persistence by weekly outputs, morale, and the steady ratio of tasks completed across 4 weeks. You now stand where effort is untested, you after 30 days hold proof in numbers and spirit. I promised a way to turn resistance into force. This practice is that turning, simple and steady. Do this now, list 3 small tasks, pick the first, act upon it before dusk. I say, perseverance surpasses fortune when fate conspires against the leader. I show this because steady pursuit breaks walls, do set clear goals, divide tasks, guard morale. You now despair, you after 30 days stand firmer. Once I led a small band struck by famine and rumor. Takeaway, persistence won ground, avoid rash pivots and false pride, track daily tasks, raise completion by 50% in 30 days. When counsel falters, steady motion draws strength from what seems lost. I say this because plans decay under doubt, do reaffirm purpose, map short marches, conserve stores. You now find voices divided, you after 30 days reunite around a single task. Once a council split on retreat, yet steady orders preserve duty and shelter. Takeaway, steady plans heal factions, avoid abrupt changes and blame, measure unity by weekly reconciliations, aim 70% consensus. Endurance is a resource sharper than blade when all supplies thin. I teach that slow gain outlasts swift loss, do rotate duties, secure small gains, harvest knowledge. You now bleed strength in every skirmish, you after 30 days rebuild reserves. Once our ranks shrank from siege, yet daily foraging and discipline restored numbers. Takeaway, endurance wins wars of attrition, avoid wasteful heroics, track supply points weekly, secure 20% buffer. I walk when others counsel halt, and such walking reshapes the field. I do not confuse stubbornness with purpose, do test assumptions, seek small proofs, commit to measured advance. You now fear every step, you after 30 days claim ground without needless loss. Once I ordered a cautious march, the slow proof gave confidence and preserved strength. Takeaway, measured persistence conquers doubt, avoid blind obstinacy, tally progress by milestones, complete 3 verified proofs in 40 days. I persist when circumstance bids me yield and all counsel urges retreat, I will show how small acts break walls. Purpose, not stubborn force, guides the endurance that breaks closing walls and steadies men through bitter nights. A leader without steady aim wastes men, scatters stores, and allows chance to decide the harvest. Resolve that endures hardship preserves strength and wins what quick passion cannot secure on the day of reckoning. List your chief aim in 3 lines, name 3 immediate acts, bind 1 act to sunrise each day, report progress weekly. Choose steady motion over sudden, futile force, for motion refines error and preserves the heart and spots error earlier. Small, measured steps reveal faults early, correct course, and conserve spirit for trials that test resolve and temper ambition. Mark each small gain, punish no honest stumble, record each lesson, celebrate 2 disciplined deeds weekly. Avoid chasing grand signs, track progress by 5 acts weekly, you after 30 days will hold 5 steady habits. Once I commanded a detachment broken by storms and doubt, men thin of heart and cold of fire. I ordered 1 soldier to mend a torn banner, another to fetch water, another to count rations and mend pans. Day by day the small labors returned order, the tents warmed, the men found purpose and tongue to sing. Takeaway, persistence with small work restores army, not stubborn blindness, do 1 corrective act now. Measure weekly, count acts, record each small victory, meet each 7th dawn to lay the ledger bare. Perseverance breaks walls, fortune yields to the unyielding.